How about you puff me from the back and use my balls as a dessert, bub?
It's the Catican.
No. We're not doing that today. It was gluten free. Yeah, no buns.
Hey, it's me, your buddy Ben.
Today's episode is brought to you by the premier app for discreetly meeting local skaters in your area, Grindr.
Colin Chandler 1 for 1 on long twos.
Some would say the heir to the Kawhi Leonard throne, Colin Chandler.
You calling him a White Claw?
Oh, what a great name.
Are you a skateboarder looking to connect with other skaters nearby? Then check out Grindr, the app that helps you discreetly meet fellow skaters. Whether you're searching for a truck stop, rest stop, or a back alley to perfect your tricks, Grindr helps you find the perfect spot to meet up with like-minded skaters.
Love to blow that 10 into 15 into 20 and really feel comfortable watching it.
Like the what?
What?
You'd like the what?
Blow that 10-point lead into a 15 lead or a 20-point lead. But the...
Ray, what do you think? Are you blowing 10s or?
If I'm lucky, yeah.
Single skaters, jacked skaters, down for whatever skaters, you name it. And let me tell you, this app is legit. Just ask my girlfriend. Now she's totally on board and has agreed not to ask me about it anymore. I'm connecting with skaters all over the place. So pull out your skateboard, whether it's in your garage, attic, or buried deeply in your closet. Download Grindr today. Start connecting with your local skate community, because sometimes the best rides are the ones you share.
And honestly, like I thought we went through the back door way too many times. Like I feel like I should, on that type of offense.
You go to the back door too much.
You certainly can, depending on a variety of circumstances. Actually,
Experience mostly. Yeah.
Preparation. Before.
Yeah, the preparation ritual to go to the back door is significant.
48-hour notice is what I've.
I'm always. That's what I tell my wife.
The Troy game, loved it. Huge for me. My wife's boyfriend's name is Troy, so when he was picking her up to take her out on Friday night, she'll be back in the morning. I was just like, "You guys are going down tonight," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Sucker's playing Troy." He was like, "I went to Brown." I was like, "I didn't know you went to an HBCU."
Another one.
Really? Well, it didn't work, guys. It's the Catican, and it's moving week. That's about all we got news-wise. Fellas, how we feeling?
Good, man. I just, all the little things leading up to, the move-ins, all that stuff. I don't really care about it, but I know we're going to have a good basketball team next year, and we're one more step closer to that. So feeling good. And for June, right? That's all we can really ask for.
Hey, moving in is one step closer to content, videos, practice, pickup. I'm so excited to. I saw Moreno even just as soon as he got in town was doing a little shoot around the other day. So, just can't wait to start seeing these guys play.
Yeah, the Switch 2 dropped this week.
That it did. Did you pick one up?
I got one. The games, they just had a bunch of them. So I think that there was like an expectation that it was going to be hard to get, but not in Podunk, Georgia, at least. Moving week. It's pretty cool. It means pictures, but I'm ready for videos.
JQ didn't walk with a limp. I'm telling you, that boy's going to play in the exhibition games. You'll see. Can't wait to see it.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got? Kentucky basketball makes more money than Kentucky football.
It does. It's close, but it does a little bit. We've had this argument for like 15 straight hours at one point, but yeah.
I didn't even know if I was correct.
I know you just. I get where you're coming from, but they do like on a per game basis, like they make crazy money. It's wild how much money Kentucky basketball makes compared to any other basketball program in the country. It's nuts. No one else. Texas is a little bit is close, but everyone else is like
for those not in the
away.
Know.
We do need to address this.
So yeah, there are tweets going around, and Kale was mentioning one that also popped off today. But we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Elon's tweet.
Bruh, that breakup's gonna be so messy. It's amazing.
The Brayden and Elon breakup.
Yeah.
No, the Trump and Elon breakup. But thank you for including me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly surprised it didn't happen earlier, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. How many now? It's just like everybody keys Teslas. So I would not go out and buy a Tesla right now if I were you.
Every other car in California is a Tesla, though. Like I swear, every car I see, like there's so many Teslas here. Everybody drives a Tesla. I don't because I can't afford one. They're expensive.
At some point, your keys are going to lose some of the ridges and they're going to stop working. We can't all be keying Teslas all the time.
That's true.
I did mean to screen cap Caleb's tweet before the show, but then I came up with that idea and got distracted.
and we rolled with it instead.
Yeah.
Matt Jones got cooked by Caleb today.
I'm a master of baiting.
Baiter. He absolutely is, for the record. Like, this guy get me riled up so much over the stupidest shit.
I was really hoping he'd get snarky with me. He didn't know.
I got Brandon Walker snarky the other day. Told him he's pissy. But if we can get Matt Jones pissy, that'd be even better. So good job on you.
Oh, I got
we love Matt Jones. Let us guest host this summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that ship sailed yet? I don't know.
Oh, bruh. That's as sailed as you dating Goodman's daughter. Yeah, it's gone.
When is Beach Jam?
July
July
13th through the 20th or something like that, right?
I think we get Top 100 camp next weekend, maybe in Rock Hill. So that'll be something to watch. I know that was significant last year. It's kind of where Caden blew up. Malachi looked really good in that event last year. So that's awesome. It's a big deal. The Rock Hill facility is super nice. I think that we had Coach McLean was down at the U16 America. Someone sent a picture of that today. It's the event. It was U18 last year. I think it sort of alternates, but that was where Pope went down to South America to watch Jasper last year.
Remember that?
I don't know. I think we decided U16 was like the young 2027 players and the old 2028 players. So I don't know any of them.
Nor should you. Like, that's not. We're like talking about kids that are barely in high school. Like,
Gets away.
These are made up years.
Right. Like, you're born with the year 2000 in the year. Like, get out of here. I don't want to talk. You're not a real person. Don't talk to me. That's crazy work. I'm old. I hate it.
I can't screen share here for
Just real quick on that note, Braden. Total change of subject. I was watching the French Open earlier, and they said this is the first time we have two players in the finals, both born after 2000.
Oh my god,
crazy,
that's rough.
Crazy.
If you didn't see 9/11 before you had object permanence in your brain, you can stop it. You can't do things in life. I hate. I see the little signs like you can't buy alcohol unless you're born in 2004. Like 2004, you can buy alcohol. Oh my god.
Right. Those freak me out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, as long as you hit them with a 19, then you get your beer. It's crazy.
So, Caleb, did you want to walk us through your argument here because Braden's got caught in this trap before?
Yeah,
it's not a trap. I'm correct, but go on.
It's just I see it in every single like bit of reporting about college athletic financing, about how football is the generator for.
And it is.
And
we're going to do this on live.
This is
it
a
It
non-profit
depends
organization.
how you
These
look
are non-profit organizations under another non-profit organization.
Except it's not. It's an LLC that is literally for profit now. So other than that, you're right. But yeah.
Well, so that's where there's probably going to be some difference in reporting, but I'm talking about all of the financials up to this point.
Sure.
There is no benefit for an athletic department to make more money than break even. And that's only to like make sure that their programs stay like viable. So it's not like I can name 10 kids that I went to high school with that went to Kentucky 5 hours away because they wanted to go watch John Wall play basketball.
It's I mean, anecdotal at best, right? Like, but like
I'm
you
saying,
have to. It's the SEC, and you have to stay relevant in football. Like
right? You
Kentucky's
have to
going to
stay
suck at
relevant.
football,
You have to stay relevant.
which is where the money comes
this
from.
is saying
Kentucky
20%
basketball
versus
is
15%, right? Like this is
sure,
just,
sure.
and it's also kind of a messaging thing. I think that if we message that we're a basketball school,
No one ever is going to argue that, except Mark Stoops, that Kentucky's not a basketball school.
yeah.
Like it's the biggest college basketball brand in the country. Anyone wants to at me, I can show you that. Like it's not even close. Texas is the next closest, and it's not even in the same ballpark.
But yeah,
But
most
to,
of the
to say that
money
you
that
can't,
gets made from Kentucky basketball doesn't go to athletic department revenue because it's not in the New York Times for the ESPN football deal, right? Like, so that money is going to get reported. But as far as licensing and Nike deals and all of this other stuff,
it's still less than football. Believe it or not,
way more than football.
It's not more than football. It's more like return on your investment if you're looking at it from that perspective. But football makes way more money. It's not even close. Like the like dollars per dollar to dollar, it's not close. I'm not saying it's not more.
30% of viewership is Kentucky fans in the SEC basketball.
That's perfect, wonderful. It doesn't compare to the SEC football.
I'd have $100 million TV deal.
I know what you're saying. We've done this so many times. I can't believe we're talking about
it. Yeah, I could have swore I witnessed you guys argue about this for hours. Like,
but you can find in the
Which
overall
time,
university financials.
I know. I found.
Coming in.
I know. I've seen the whole report. I read 400 pages of shit I didn't need to read because of this argument 2 months ago.
What I also want to say is just think about it like very basically. If there was a stock ticker UKBB and there was a stock ticker UKFB, which one's mooning, right?
No one's arguing that Kentucky basketball is not a bigger brand than Kentucky football, but Kentucky basketball isn't bigger than SEC football. That's the whole problem.
That's absolutely true. But
so
as far as I don't think we have anything to worry. We bring so much extra on the basketball side.
It is a unique situation.
We don't have to worry about like if we were to say we're going to spend 18% instead of 15% of our revenue share.
Sure.
Because we're a basketball school. I feel like
I'm fine with that. That's fair. And honestly, it's the only school I would say that it is like an actual conversation where it's basketball versus football. Because anywhere else, it's not even. We're not talking about it at all. Even a place like
Kansas.
Duke, where their football's not.
Kansas, Duke.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mean to like argue it so hard. It's just
Utah
football's
State?
always going to be. Utah State doesn't make money anywhere, bro. Like, what do you mean? Hey, by the way, Memphis Valentine's Day in the Spectrum. Everybody, book that one. It's going to be great.
The thing is, though, here's the thing: a lot of these schools have like defunct, like they're running in the red athletic programs, whatever.
UNLV is like negative 10 million a year. Yeah.
But also, if they didn't have their athletics programs, kids would not go there.
Fair.
Which is so. If it was a for-profit company, that money gets reported as like revenue, right? Because that's how it works for actual when you're a money-centric thing. But it's not. So it's like all of the reporting that says we need to invest in football because it's like the biggest money thing. It's just
it's still correct. I know you don't love it, but like listen, like the thing is it's going to be it's the engine that drives the car. Like everything else is basketball for Kentucky, and nowhere else is that the case. Like Kentucky basketball versus Kentucky football is like the only way, or the only school that has that disparity or even a competition between the two programs. So I'll give you that. Like honestly, it is close.
We would need
if you drop the football
level money to go into our football program, like BYU did with basketball this year, to be relevant in the SEC.
And you have that amount of money, and it still might not be enough. But I get what you're saying. I think it's more keep the status quo, like, and everything else flourishes on top of that. It's more the like foundation of the whole thing. Because being in look at Louisville, right? If you're in the ACC or before that Conference USA, right, with football, you're drowning a little bit, and the basketball does have to make up a chunk of that. Which Kentucky would do the same thing. But it isn't the worst thing in the world that there's a reason you can pay Mark Stoops $9 million a year to win 6 games. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason they make that much money. It's undeniable. I get what you're saying, though. I understand, and I think the basketball program is far better investment. They're going to win a national title this year, and Mark might get us to a bowl. We'll see. Can they beat 3 Sun Belt teams? No, I see you, Jared. I'm just saying maybe that's the hope, right? He's motivated. I hear it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm saying I agree with Braden here. I think the football program makes more money. That said, I don't care. I want to spend more money on basketball.
I agree. I would rather spend the money on basketball. No,
it's
absolutely. It's just a necessary
and
evil.
and it's. I mean, yes, you need to maintain like a baseline competency and competitiveness in football.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's going to be pressure from the conference to do that. I want to do that. I mean, I'm not happy with where things are now. I want to improve. I think maybe that comes from a new coach, not necessarily pumping a ton of money in, because I don't think the money is really going to help all that much.
They're
I mean,
paying him
I think
they're paying him Nick Saban money. So yeah, you're right.
I feel like he spent
right.
a lot of money in the last like 3 years.
That
A lot of
that
money.
said, I think that a lot of this comes down to. I mean, we're the basis of this argument is sort of the rev share argument. What
Right.
proportions do we pay to each sport? And I think that depends so much on the enforcement of the new house settlement rules whenever that gets approved, how strict they are, what they allow you to get away with, and ultimately it's going to be a problem because, say you get $20.5 million as your budget essentially for the athletic department pay for play.
Mhm.
Immediately 2.5 is taken away from that because the first $2.5 million of new scholarships in excess of those allowed for 2024, 2025 count against your allocation. So you're down already from 20.5 to 18. And
What a problem
that
to have.
is insufficient. I mean, if the rumor is we spent 20
Ain't spending
on
no
basketball,
$20 million.
even if that's a high estimate, I
Mhm.
mean, North Carolina spent 14.
BYU
I
spent
think
more
we
than
spent.
Kentucky. I
I
promise
think
you.
we spent. I think we spent more than 14.
So did BYU. They spent more than Kentucky. I bet my
Competitive,
life on it.
competitive football programs spent 20. I mean, that was the big all the news about Ohio State last year.
$20 million
All this
roster.
to
Yep.
say, $20 million is insufficient to build both a basketball team and a football team, and we will need to have some way. It's not going to be NIL in its current form. I'm sure there's going to be some enforcement mechanism that prevents that. But I think how it's enforced and how strict it is in terms of this fair market value thing is crucial, because if we can get away with it, great, rev share, awesome. If the university can now buy a competitive football team, that's huge. And if our fans can keep dumping in whatever we paid this year for this roster when the university wasn't able to contribute, then we can keep building great, deep, expensive basketball teams and also now build a competent football team. But if we're limited to really just spending that $18 million, we're going to be in a bad spot no matter what. Unless we say, Mark Stoops, you get none.
Yeah.
Then I mean, it's the estimate that got put out is that SEC teams on average are going to spend $3.1 million on their basketball teams.
That's
And I
gotta
think we'll be
better.
higher than that.
Yeah.
It was SEC in fifth place at 3.1, Big Ten in fourth place at 3.2, then Big 12 at 8, and ACC in the mid fours, and the Big East at
How is
almost
that
6.
possible? Great Osborne made $2 million to win 7 games.
Yeah,
at
right. Well, I
Washington
mean,
last year.
that's because you have to allocate 75% of it to football. I mean, it's
That's fair. Okay.
in this calculus, football is getting the vast majority of what you have available. And so the good thing, I think, is that to the extent we can say and argue that our basketball players are marketable and they have incredibly high NIL values, then we can get them paid that way. And then maybe we can allocate a ton of this to football and keep everybody happy. But if we are actually limited, as they probably intend, to only spending $18 million to build our rosters across all sports, that's going to be a real problem. And it's not just us. It's going to be a problem for everybody.
Forgive my ignorance here, but basically, what this means, like their whole goal is like, or the end result here would mean that's all we get for the whole athletic department, right? Like NIL can't be a separate thing from that, right? Like
No. They want NIL to be a separate thing, and they still allow for
Kentucky
that.
basketball should never even worry about the
But
rest.
it's NIL. They want NIL to be like
it's NIL paid at a fair market value, which is significantly different from, hey, we're going to give you. I mean,
fair market value is determined on what someone's going to, the highest bidder will pay for you, though. I mean, Kentucky's going to pay the money. The boosters for Kentucky are going to pay that money. I mean, realistically, like what else they got to do? That's what they're going to put their money towards.
it comes down to how do you determine fair market value? Do you determine it on college basketball player, or do you determine it on this guy plays for Kentucky versus this guy plays for New Mexico?
And I love the New Mexico slander. First of all, thank you.
So actually, I think the wording is neither. Let me find this.
I guess I don't understand. Here's the thing: who's going to enforce any of this? Nobody.
Well, they're going to try, and it's going to immediately.
Who's going to try? The NCAA. The football doesn't even belong to them anymore.
Well, they'll
and
try.
It hasn't
They'll
for
get
years,
sued,
but
they'll lose.
they're literally breaking away from it. The UFL,
So the language that is used in the proposed settlement terms from the House settlement is no payments unless the payment is for a valid business purpose related to the promotion or endorsement of goods or services provided to the general public for profit. So essentially, you need to be advertising something.
Makes sense.
With compensation at rates and terms commensurate with compensation paid to similarly situated individuals with comparable NIL value who are not current or prospective student athletes at member institutions.
Kentucky will set the market on that thing, though. That's the
There's
no one's buying Weetabix like Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like,
you can say Kentucky will set the market, but if it also explicitly excludes anyone who's a current or prospective student, you can use past students as your benchmark. I guess you can use students at other schools, but
I just like it's not going to hold up.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to sue in some West Virginian court, and some judge is going to grant an injunction, and it's going to none of it matters. Like, let's just let Zakai Zigor play till he's 35 years old, and maybe he hits 5'8". Who knows?
But that's going to happen. Is there has to be a union. Like, that's the only solution.
Oh my god, I hate it. I hate everything.
Yeah, but then they have to be athletes. Or be employees.
Well, they already are. The athletic department's not even part of the school anymore. It's an LLC. Well, they are. They're going to be, right? I mean,
well, then they'll get like pensions, and then it becomes a whole thing there.
Thanks a lot, Ed O'Bannon. We had video games. And we had
workers at the library don't get pensions, right?
Well, they might if they stay there long enough, probably.
Graduate assistants. It would be kind of like those. That would probably be that level of employee, right? Not like a tenured professor.
I don't know, man.
Harry Ellis would have been pulling from his pension by now.
But Harry Ellis, good lord. But like some of these kids are making like millions of dollars. They would be one of the highest paid state employees. Period. Like the football coach in most like states is the highest paid like public employee, right? This whole thing sucks. I miss.
Yeah, I mean,
why don't we just do it under the table? Like, let's lie about it. Strong ass offers. That whole thing. I liked when we had. Some resemblance of rules, and we like pretend like they matter.
Well, it's the natural evolution of monetizing every facet of college athletics,
every facet of life, honestly. Yeah.
So it's just where we're at. I don't know what the end game is, unless we go back to like the YMCA days, where you have like the University of Kentucky affiliated basketball team.
That's what it is now, right? With the LLC separating itself from the school.
Sure. No. So it's the LLC is still owned by the university. It's still.
Sure. I'm just making a joke mostly, but
like OpenAI. Like OpenAI is a nonprofit, but they own a for-profit child, and then like churches.
Yeah,
churches do that a lot with like TV shows.
Looking at you, BYU.
It'll probably be similar.
So, the University of Kentucky affiliated basketball team.
I hate it.
I really do too. It bums me the fuck out.
It would, It would be like. Thank you, Joe. It would be like, the Green Bay Packers, right?
Publicly owned, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be like that, sort of, probably.
Or like the Grand Canyon University, for-profit university, has pays their students in credits to go to games. We played them this year. They're adding to the Mountain West a year early, so that's exciting. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It all sucks, dude. Like, I don't want a minor league fucking football league. Like, who cares about that? Does anyone watch the UFL? No. Well, you're ready. You're headed there.
Yeah. What you end up losing is the pageantry and the regionality and
it's already dead, bro. There's UCLA's in a Big Ten commercial. Don't talk to me about regionality right now.
Yeah. Well, it's like. That's what people like about college football. They like going. They like working in Nashville, and then their Vandy coworker and UK co-workers get to, talk shit at work. Like that doesn't
See,
exist with any professional league, right? There's not so much cultural like identity and all this stuff that goes along with it, and you lose that with college athletics going the way of professional league.
I miss the days where we paid under the table and speculated about it and still had
Exactly.
all that
All
the
that.
image, the facade of pageantry.
Will
and
Wade is honestly
student athletes.
Robin Hood.
Honestly, like he was a pioneer. He had it right. I can't believe that guy got in trouble for that.
As far as regionality is concerned, like I care about it for us. I love that the SEC is still at this point like the only high major that can consider themselves to be a regional conference. I think that's interesting. I mean,
just
of
means
course, the
more,
region does keep expanding, but I at least, as much as this has all gone to shit, I appreciate that we're all still relatively close, and the states can be connected in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, you're not going to feel anything like anyone else is going to. The SEC's fine.
But
It's the other conferences that.
It doesn't necessarily bother me that the ACC and the Big Ten and the Big 12 aren't regional anymore. What does bother me is that, I'm thinking about this in like a football and basketball context where everyone is making enough money to do that travel, but the Olympic sports are. And so you're having like track athletes flying from California several time zones over.
Stanford at Rutgers for a track is nuts.
And as much as this makes sense in a basketball and football context, some of that doesn't. So I see the people that argue for like let's consider basketball and football differently and agree with them.
They already are, honestly.
But
I agree
it's tough.
Well, and yeah,
I think
what I think it should do is break away from the NCAA completely, have a basketball team owned by the university, have employees, unions, whatever, and then make it good again.
I don't want to cheer for the Kentucky basketball team, truthfully.
It's just like at a certain point, you have so many people trying to get their piece of the pie. It really, and that's where we're at. And that's where we're at with like the entire world. So
yeah, late stage capitalism. I get you.
It makes sense.
Some campaign on MAGA. Caleb campaigns on MBGA. Make basketball good again.
I actually campaign on MBJA. Me blowjob again.
Okay. All right.
All right.
It's interesting because I don't want to see like amateur sports like the like least or semi-pro league. They're like the least popular like leagues in America or in the world, really. Like in the NCAA, football's broken away completely from the NCAA, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think the biggest thing they own is the tournament, and it is the biggest like thing that the NCAA still has is the men's basketball tournament. I don't want to see it be the Kentucky-sponsored pro basketball team. I won't give a shit about that. I
think it's just the postseason that's broken off, just the CFP. But yeah.
I saw something today. Sankey talking about it. I thought where they were going to have a commissioner, and they're going to like football is officially like done with the NCAA completely. From what I maybe I misunderstood what he said, but that's what's going to happen. And I just don't. It's going to be basically another FBS FCS split with like schools like the new Pac-12 or the Mountain West River will be in the lower tier, and then obviously you'll have the SEC and the Big Ten, maybe the Big 12. I hope not for selfish reasons, but like.
So Sankey has been in the news like all week.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's pushing for everybody to do the same like revenue, whatever. Which, I don't think it really matters if we're gonna be able to NIL however we want. But there's something about the being able to say we spend the most in the SEC. We care about basketball the most. There's some market.
If that's not clear to anybody, I don't know what they're thinking.
But
they've been living under a rock.
At a certain point, like if it's like Kentucky, no, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to be, punching bag in football, and also you have to let these other schools catch up to you in basketball. Did we just go to the Big Ten?
No. Never. I mean, everyone wants to be the SEC. Like, this is the most here's the thing, BBN. Like, you have nothing to worry about ever. Like, as far as the realignment, it doesn't affect you ever. You don't have to worry about being left behind, being not part of the group. Like, you're literally setting the table. So, like, I have a hard time feeling bad for anybody in this fandom, because it literally doesn't matter. Whatever, like you're on the cutting edge of what you dictate the pace here, right? You're never going to be left behind, and that is a blessing because there's a lot of schools that like what is it going to look like going forward for college athletics? And I think Kentucky's never going to have to question that at all. That's a nice thing, is they'll always have a seat at the table in football and basketball, even if they're ass at football. They're still going to be there because of the basketball brand, really.
But how pissed off does Mark Pope get if he has to keep following these rules and letting
Mark Pope is a known rule follower. Okay, so
Yeah, I know
he
that.
enjoys it.
But he obviously
as
went
long-
against Sankey this week.
Greg Sankey wants these dollar
In the
signs in
news.
footballs, bro. That's all.
I think that as long as we have some ability, I mean, I can't see us really falling behind in basketball.
No,
matter what, we're going to be at the forefront, right? Like whether that means we can spend $3 million or we can spend $20 million, I think it will be difficult, or it's difficult for me to imagine a situation in which our fans and our program aren't able to make whatever needs to happen to be
Exactly.
successful.
No matter
And I
what's
think
in those
I think
parameters,
probably any blue blood feels that way, and that's
I
maybe
want
more
to
than
be
anything the
so
benefit
good
of
at
being the blue
basketball.
blood.
It makes the other schools worse at basketball, like they are at football. Right?
That's kind of what Kentucky did for like 25 years in the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. I
last
want to
year,
go back.
honestly.
Yeah.
I know. I get it. I'm
Kentucky
just saying, like,
basketball that again.
we had a
right?
unicorn of a year last year. Usually, it's like Utah State's beat a few SEC teams. I never felt good
When's the last
about it
time we won
because
the
it's an
SEC
ass to
tournament?
I don't know. When was it? Oh, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's year, maybe. I don't
I
know.
think so.
Yep, that was the last time we won it.
There you go.
That's wild.
Plug my stuff in.
Wild.
Make Nate Oates cry again.
Mhm.
You know what?
I want to make it. I want to make coaches not want to be in the SEC. Like NATO should be trying to go to whatever coaching job in the ACC opens up. That's the kind of and that's what Kentucky football is right now in the SEC. We are
The opposite of that.
the opposite. Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
are
yeah.
we are. There's no way. I don't know. Is there a world in which Kentucky wins a football national championship?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a world where it happens. The money's there. I mean, you just have to. There's a way it happens. You're one of the 35 teams that could.
There, and the other teams just go more.
I mean, ish, right? Like, did you think Florida was going to win the Natty in basketball this year? Probably not, but they did.
Yeah, but basketball's a better. Is a more pure sport.
You damn near beat Georgia. I mean, you should have beat them. That pick six should have happened. It should have counted. I mean, there's a world in which you could string together 12 wins, 11 wins, get into the playoff, beat a Boise State in round one,
South Carolina,
get lucky. I understand. I completely understand. Shane Beamer, Stoops calls him daddy after that one. But my point is, they had 31 total yards in that game. I can't believe I watched that shit. But anyways, my point is I think you're at least at the there's 75 out of the 134 Division I schools that can't compete for a national title year in and year out. There's literally 30-something schools that can, and you are one of them based on the conference you're in alone. Like, that's it. Like, that's what I mean. But there's a chance. Like, some schools, even like a Boise State didn't have a chance, and they made the playoff, right?
Like Arizona State got closer to a national championship than we ever will.
I don't know about that. I think that's more of a byproduct of playing teams like BYU a bunch, like
exactly.
But BYU and that whole situation.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Retzloff.
The environment that we're in, we're just not going to. We're not going to be able to out recruit Georgia and Florida.
But the point is, you still have to play the games, and you have the opportunity. Utah State could go 12-0. They're not sniffing the playoff. It doesn't matter. They're not going there. It's not going to happen. But yeah, Boise's bro. If we could be half the program in football that Boise is, like, I'd die happy. That's such an out. That's Gonzaga in basketball. It's not even. They're not even in the same like stratosphere as us. My
also,
point
Boise
is,
doesn't have a university.
It's a truck stop. Yeah, trucker university for sure. Their biggest degrees is for CDL drivers, and I get that. Like, nobody wants to go there, but for anything but the blue turf and football. But they're damn good at that. I'll tell you that.
They made a show about them.
Shall we go to the chat? We got a couple. Lincoln says, can't remember if you guys have covered this before, but who is your breakout player for UK everyone is sleeping on?
JQ early season. I'm telling you, I've been on this train. I'm going to die on this hill. This kid's playing early, and he's going to play really good. That's who my breakout player is. JQ is going to be National Player of the Year, so I'm sure, or SEC first team, one of the two.
You all know mine.
If you say BG, I swear to God, I'll
It's
log off right
BG.
Let's go.
Also, I think he's going to probably contribute a lot more than people right now have in their head. Yelovich.
I think Colin Chandler is going to be a bigger contributor than people are counting on him for.
Yeah, I think he's going to be our PG2, right? Is that kind of what the tea leaves?
I think he's just going to fit in where he fits in, like two. I mean, he's going to play where he's
Seen
going to play.
him
I
in
think
his
he probably
workout
gets
videos.
workout video. Okay,
Have you seen him?
I haven't, but I've seen him play basketball. Yeah.
You should go check out post-marriage Colin Chandler workout videos.
It's funny
He's
because
got way better handles. I'm saying.
It's funny because most Mormon players when they get married are usually way worse at basketball after that fact. Like Utah State's the second most
Like they
Mormon.
suddenly care about other things.
We're the second most Mormon school next to BYU. I promise you, most of the time they get worse. So I hope
You got to marry somebody who's like as psychotic about Kentucky basketball as you.
Oh, let's hope that he did. I don't know his wife.
Well, I mean that's what Pope and his wife seem like. They're like
Leo Dan's die hard for sure.
Ben, you got a sleeper?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple, right? So, like, I think people think Diabate is going to start, and I agree he will, but I think he's going to be much better than people expect. I think Braden Hawthorne isn't going to get a ton of playing time, but I think he is going to play, which is more than people expect. I think it's tough because everyone keeps saying, like, oh, well, you're sleeping on whoever, and it's because we have 14 players, all of whom are pretty good.
Who's the 15th player? Reese Potter? Is he the last guy on the bench, or who's the last guy on the bench here?
I don't know. I mean, it's
rhetorical, right? Like I've been saying, we have a ton of talent. I have no idea.
It could be Trent Noah. It could be Reese Potter. It could be Hawthorne. It could be.
I about Trent Noah.
It could be Malachi Moreno. I mean,
we don't know. Probably Moreno. Honestly,
and all of these are very talented guys who each bring their own unique skill set,
and we'll all have eligibility outside of two of them, right?
I think Cam Williams plays a lot more than people thought.
You know, we do the whip around and everybody gets their pick, and then you guys proceed to name everyone on the roster, so that way Jared doesn't get to have his.
All right, but
Big Papa Podcast. Who is your breakout player, brother? Go ahead.
I was going to say Cam Williams. I think there's a very real world where Cam Williams is the best player on the team next year.
That's not a bad take at all. I can see that.
That is not what I was saying. At least I was just saying he's probably going to play more than people thought, but that's a pretty.
Jalen Lowe is going to be the allegations.
Elaborate.
Yeah, go ahead. Jared.
Was that? Oh,
no. Elaborate why you think Cam.
Just as far as his skill set and his build, like if they're able to like have him grow even more as a player and he's practicing every day against even better talent, then yeah, I think you can't rule out that he'll be the best player. I mean, we all think that it'll be Otega Owe. But
I think it'll be JQ. Truthfully, he's a lottery pick next year. I think he's the best player on the team. But yeah,
I do think
we were
asked
has the biggest chance to be the lottery next year, next to JQ.
Who?
Cam.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
So that's our sleeper pick is the entire roster.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not even. I know you say that jokingly, but like
we are woke.
I mean, it's insane how good this roster looks like it could be on paper. I mean, that's why they play the game. But it looks like
my second pick was going to be Yelovich. If you guys said
it's
Cam
possible.
Williams.
It's possible Otega was the only name we didn't say.
Yep.
Well, you can't sleep on Otega, right?
I mean, Otega is the straw that stirs the drink here, but I think also like we know he's a known quantity. I think that his sleeper pick for Otega would be kind of tough to. He's like clearly the 16 points per game returner, like one of 5 that Kentucky's had in the last 20 years. You know what I mean?
I think he might be like preseason All SEC.
He'll be on the Wooden Watch. He'll be All SEC, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say I also don't know if we said Jalen Lowe. I think Jalen Lowe is going to be really, really good. He looked excellent in the in the combine scrimmages, the G League elite camp scrimmages. He's maybe an inch shorter than we thought he is, but man, he looks like he can play. I'm so excited to see him around other talent. I think that's an environment in which he thrives. I think that is. I mean, the guy can go, and I'm excited to see him run this offense.
He's very happy too, which reminds me of Lamont.
Wouldn't you be if you left Pitt to come play at Kentucky? I mean, sheesh.
Jared, didn't you like either not? I don't think it was last week. I don't know if there was a show last week or not. But
there was.
It was maybe it was one of them where you were talking about how he would be like the biggest X factor on like, is this a natty contender?
Yep.
if Jalen Lowe's the determining factor if we win a natty or not, they're gonna win it because like he can absolutely play basketball. He's damn good. Like that Pitt team was trash. Of course, he had to force a lot of things, but Jalen was gonna be so freaking good. Like even Ben, you mentioned this in the G League combine with guys he's never played with before, but talent, right? Because they're at the combine, tore it up.
Right.
Looked great. The chemistry, he didn't have to have chemistry; it was there. And I think but that's the biggest sign to me that it's gonna be a great year with him at the peak. There's a reason they went and got him. Mark Pope, he knows what he's doing, bro. Like, come on. He's been
So
saying this since last April.
I'll say too, like some Louisville fans have said, well, he was awful against us. Well, I think in the 2 games he played against them, he had 24 points and 16 points. So he averaged 20. He averaged 5.5 and 6 on assists and rebounds. That's
On a bad team,
That's-
he had to carry a ton.
that's a great stat line.
It is.
And he inefficient in those games? Yes, he missed a bunch of threes. But even missing a bunch of threes, he still scored a ton, assisted a ton, rebounded a ton. I mean,
He had to take a lot of the shots. If you watch the games, he's put in terrible positions by his teammates. Like
look at
so
their
many.
roster.
No, exactly. But like even more specifically, like he had to put up a ton of garbage shots because he's the only one that could on that whole roster that could create his own shot off the dribble.
I have a take
Go ahead.
about Louisville.
I love it. All ears.
I think Pat Kelsey's kryptonite might be like point guard play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
What do you say?
Lamont, right? Last year, just
33 points, 6 of 6 from the field, or whatever it was. Yeah.
And then they played Duke well, right? It's like
they still lost though, right?
Right, yeah, but it's like he plays defense as if everybody else is playing the same style of offense, like of this like new age offense. So I do think that's going to be something that we'll probably see like a pattern of is what, because obviously like our offense wasn't designed for Lamont Butler to be scoring 33 points,
right?
That's fair. That's a good point.
But Pope did it right because he has this flexibility to his system, and I wonder like that could end up being kind of one of those narratives. It's one of those things that people talk about. It's like,
Creighton's point guard killed them in the tournament too, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So could be something.
Like 3,000 days since they won a tournament game, something like that.
Real shame.
That's wild.
Here's a fun question. Kim asks, hot topics, who do we predict the players will be roomies with? Listen, I love Kentucky basketball. I can't get into writing fanfic.
I want Yelovich and Noah.
Fanfic Kentucky basketball is crazy.
I want Yelovich and Noah to be.
Stop. We're not.
No.
Only got one direction it can go, and it's down.
I'm talking Eastern European to Eastern Kentucky.
I
want to see him in Harlan County.
I'm not arguing that you have your reasoning. I'm just saying it's not going to be. Yeah. Go ahead. Go off, King.
Yeah. I'm not getting homoerotic here. Okay. I'm talking straight up cultural. What would be a good match? I just would like to see, like imagine Luka Doncic or who's the other one? Who's the other? The big
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic.
You mean the player with the greatest win share in NBA history? Nikola Jokic?
Whatever.
Yeah.
NBA, whatever. Anyway, Jokic.
Just the greatest basketball league to ever exist. That's
his horse loving ass goes to like I want to see this cultural cross of Yelovich and Eastern Kentucky. That's my only.
I feel like
everybody else can just.
It's Remember the Titans with Ryan Gosling listening to country with his roommate. That's what that sounds like to me. But
imagine Yelovich just gets to campus, just walking around in full sweatsuits, ripping cigarettes.
Oh, bro! If he's not ripping darts at halftime, like is he even Andre Karolinko? No, like we need this in our lives. Like we need the absolute swag of the Camel Reds and at halftime. Like please.
I don't mean to burst anyone's bubble, but I think someone said last year, and then we saw the move-in photos just like we're seeing them this year. Someone said everyone moved out of the lodge almost immediately and got their own apartment now that players are earning NIL and have money to do so, except for Andrew Carr, Trent Noah, and Travis Perry. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if anyone else does.
I mean, if I
Yeah,
made
and
$3.5 million to play Kentucky, I'm
yeah,
damn sure
right,
not living at
right.
the dorms. I'll be real with you.
Like, Andrew Card does seem to me like he's like those stories about NBA players that drive like a 2010 Honda Civic or whatever.
Mark Madsen,
Like,
for sure.
like
Yeah.
that's Andrew Card does seem like that. It's like, why would I spend money on I have this room to sleep in? You know.
Yeah, he's Pope
Right.
Junior for sure.
But yeah, I do also think it would be tough not to just like get a baller apartment in college if
Yeah.
I had millions of dollars. I don't
So, I don't know.
would have committed war crimes if they gave me millions of dollars when I was 18 years old. I can't but believe that these kids even stay out of jail.
God, yeah.
Well, knock on wood. Let's
Yeah.
hope they do.
I mean, everybody except Provo, Utah. Knock on wood, for sure.
Philip encourages us to talk about basketball.
No. What
There's
basketball,
no-
bro? We are. There's no basketball to be played for like 4 more months. We're talking about kids
Says-
moving in.
Cam Williams rocks with the basketball.
That's true.
He in fact does not. He is the biggest hole in his game is ball handling.
That's actually his biggest flaw. Yeah. So bad take.
So-
but hey, appreciate you.
I do think
Just kidding.
I do think if he is to work on at least like Ortega going from being able to at least dribble to the rim, you know, I feel like if Cam does that, we should be seeing a pretty NBA projection type.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets like a good handles, like there's nothing stopping him from being a top 10 pick with the way he shoots and just his just sheer size.
Athletic, yeah.
I don't
Brady.
always follow NBA draft stuff super closely. Not a huge NBA fan, but someone said that there's a source that does mock drafts that has Cam just outside the lottery next year. They've got
I've seen
JQ
as
at
high as
11.
8. Mhm.
They've got Cam Williams at 16, and it's NBADraft.net. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm high on Cam Williams. I don't know if I'd say just outside lottery as soon as next year, but like that's a really optimistic prediction. And then someone said NBADraft.net's run by a Kentucky fan, and all of a sudden, I understand.
But to be fair, though, look, there's the NBA is so different from college. The projection's correct. He's going to be picked in the. I would be shocked if he's not a lottery pick within a year. I mean, even a guy. I know Paul George has been ass lately, but like at Fresno, he didn't do a damn thing, and he was a lot. I mean, he's dang good, and he's been really good in the NBA. Like it's just such a different projection. It's almost a different sport. But if he can get a handle at all, I mean, you'll have 2 lottery picks off this team, I think, if not a couple later in the first round as well.
What is the lottery? 12?
15.
15. Yeah.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with NBADraft.net. That guy, in 2013, he had Alex Poitras going 1 for a period of time, and I think
Who went 1?
Not Alex Poitras.
That was that Anthony Bennett? No.
If it was, then I don't want to hear the grief because Anthony Bennett's the worst number 1 pick of all time. Like they should have.
It was Anthony Bennett.
Look at your boy, huh? Show my old head status. I also remember during the Kyrie Irving drafts, instead of having Kyrie go number 1, this was close to the draft too. He had Enes Kanter going number 1, and then I believe the Cavs had the 4th pick that year, and then he had them picking up Brandon Knight. So it adds up that guy's a Kentucky fan.
Sure, I mean, there's some instances there.
Right.
Anthony Bennett, oh my God, dude, what an absolutely generational fumble that pick was.
He was
Also
Kentucky was
Halliburton-
recruiting him hard too.
Well, thank God every day they didn't get him because he was ass. Okay,
Him and I think Steven Zimmerman, who also ended up on UNLV.
who?
Steven Zimmerman.
I know. I've never heard of him before.
He's supposed to be good.
He wasn't. UNLV hasn't won anything since 1991, so there's that.
Disrespect. The disrespect of the Kentucky shirt falling.
You know what? Can't help it. It's gone.
Boys, I have an idea for a bet wheel.
Okay.
You guys feeling frisky?
Yeah, I am.
What if we walk through the Kentucky football schedule and we just make our picks in June,
Okay.
and then who's ever the closest wins. But who's ever the
Getting-
furthest,
Has
they
to
got to do
pierce their
something off the
ears.
bet wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Give it to me. I'll do it right now. I'll say
You got an
right
Excel
now.
sheet up or something?
Yeah, I'll just go back and basically do what we did for the SEC schedule for basketball.
All right. So we're going Braden, Ben, Kale, Jared.
Sure.
Or are you just going dub L, dub L?
Do we want to agree on what is on the bet wheel first? And we'll clue in the audience too about the bet wheel. So
Foot bet.
Oh, that is
Another.
So we can take off whatever you guys want. But here's what I have for the parameters so far. We got foot bet, karaoke bet, standing, tiny window, pierced ear, but it has to be the gay one. Volunteer at a homeless shelter or soup kitchen. Do a get ready with me video. And here's one that I like. Chili's gift card, $15, but you got to vlog it.
The get ready with me video is like suicide fuel for me, but I'll try it if I have to. We'll do it.
Feeling like we don't want to do pierced ear.
I will literally pierce my ears right now if you want me to. I have no qualms with this one.
Does it hurt?
I do want you to, but I'm probably out on the pierced ear.
Come on, Ben.
Ben.
Though-
You don't have to
if
leave it
you-
in. I'll send you $10 to go to Claire's to get that thing pierced, brother.
Yeah, maybe
We
not.
do belly button piercing.
That's way more
Also
painful.
not though.
Dye your hair blonde.
I wanted to do that. Ben was out on that one too.
I can't help notice that puppet bet has been removed from
Because it's the lamest one,
from-
and the puppets got lost in the mail. I'm certain of this at this point.
I'll see.
Standing.
I'll get around to it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready to say
So
goodbye.
so also somebody yesterday said it must have really hurt Jared that we made him send the puppets, and I didn't have the heart to tell them
He didn't send them.
that in fact we made a video about it and we haven't yet received the
He
puppets.
legit drove to the post office, didn't put those things in a box. That's fine.
I
Go
have
on.
a mental block about going inside of the post office.
Man,
with
it's
puppets.
tough, but sometimes you just have to say goodbye.
No, you can just keep the puppets. I like
I'd
seeing
tell
these.
you how sad it was if you hadn't made a video about how sad it was.
Honestly, I can squeeze more content out of this because now I can just
If you
record
flatten
myself.
them, can you flatten them into like one that you can put it in like the slot thing? I feel like I have less of a mental block to do the slot one. The drive-through post office.
The
That's true. I just
drive-through.
don't know.
We're just
Yeah, I don't
go
think the
in.
puppets would fit into something like that. But anyways, I'll record myself and
Maybe we pick him up
Be able
in
to hear the
Peach Jam
people's
this year.
reactions.
That's all we do, you know.
seeing the puppets. But
All
okay,
right.
we'll come back to that. So let's look at this Kentucky football schedule. All right, boys. First up, we got Toledo.
It's a win, but barely. Toledo's better than you think.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm trying to decide whether that's a win or a loss.
It's a win, but it's going to be closer than you think. I promise you. 28-21.
Yeah, I'll say win.
Okay.
Dub. Yeah.
I'm also gonna go win, but I feel Ben's trepidation on this.
I mean, imagine how off the rails that would be to start the season.
It'd be awesome.
Brother, I'm
All right.
looking at this.
I mean,
It'd be
people are
crazy.
like optimistic. People are like optimistically at a 4-win season, and that includes the Toledo. This is
All right,
ugly.
Blake, we got Ole
lose that
Miss.
one.
Loss and a vengeful loss from Lane Kiffin. That is going to be the beatdown of the century.
Yeah.
Absolute L.
All right, so we all got a loss there. We got Eastern Michigan.
They win it by 14 and feel way better than they should about it.
Yeah, I'll say win there too. I don't know that we're going to have a ton of separation here.
Okay, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I honestly think my only wins are going to be Toledo, Eastern Michigan, and Tennessee Tech.
Well, then we'll have some differentiation there because I've got some more wins on the schedule, but that's fine.
Okay, so let's just do this. South Carolina, Georgia, Texas. How many do you have out of that one, Braden?
1.
0.
Well, we gotta say who it is though, right?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Caleb, you got 0?
He's always good for one win you don't expect. I think it'll be something.
Yeah, just
I think that if you get somebody
I'm
that can,
thinking they beat us by 26.
if you can block one defensive end, you win that game. It's pretty simple. I think that they'll figure that part out. I think they're a little bit of a one-trick pony. South Carolina is. So
I think the quarterback is good.
I got a loss on all 3, and I think the South Carolina one's particularly ugly. It's the first road game of the season. South Carolina's coming off a good year. That place gets loud.
Until it doesn't, right?
Yeah. Well, you've been here. You've seen the environment.
And Ole Miss beat the shit out of them. Yeah, it was dead 10 minutes in after that crazy environment. So Ole Miss went in there and whooped that ass. Yes, I saw that. That was the day I was there. Well, the day before I was. No, we were there. I was there on game day.
You were there game day. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Tennessee, Auburn, and Florida.
You'll beat Auburn. That's it, though. You'll beat Auburn.
Okay.
Man, I'm at 0 again.
I'm at 0.
I'm feeling optimistic about Auburn. Feeling optimistic.
Freeze is a fraud in the NIL era. I'll tell you that right now.
I feel like the only one we even have a chance at really is Tennessee, and that's because they're going through so much drama.
They lost Nico, but that means they had $4 million more to spend. So they probably
but they also like last year their guy who was supposed to be like maybe a number 1 overall pick was like the team couldn't handle him. I feel like there might be like a cultural thing going on there. But
Auburn is the worst team. Auburn's
you don't think?
Yeah,
I just don't think we.
You don't think Bobby Hill is a winning football coach?
I don't think so. I don't think he's built for. I don't think he's built for Knoxville. I think you have to be a Rick Barnes type.
Are you talking about Josh Heupel? Is that who you're calling Bobby Hill?
Yeah.
You mean Utah State's former offensive coordinator in our most disappointing season in the last decade? Mm-hmm.
Bruce Pearl can handle Knoxville. You got to be straight edge.
Straight edge, yeah.
I'm assuming I'm giving the Auburn one because I don't think Auburn's going to have a good year. And I think that there's a chance that they might be checked out by that point. I don't think the environment's going to be super crazy. And yeah, I think Stoops, generally surprises with one. And, the motivation factor,
he's motivated. Motivated.
I'm also tempted with the Florida one, but now I feel that the fandom's kicking in where the logic should be.
Florida's gonna beat the shit out of Kentucky.
I'm assuming we're all going the W on Texas Tech.
Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech, yeah, get it dub there. If it's Texas Tech, nah.
Whoop us,
Tennessee Tech, sure. I'll give you the dub there. Utah State beat them by 75 2 years ago. So.
All right, and then we got Vandy and Louisville.
You'll beat Vandy and lose to Louisville.
Okay. No wins for me.
Nope, I don't think so.
Isn't
Diego coming back?
He is, but it took like a Herculean effort from him and like Key and Barry and Brown to be total dipshits to lose that game. They only lost it by 7, and they absolutely blew that thing with like.
I could see Vandy being like at the point where they're one of those teams that could be talked into a top 12 seed at that point. And then them beating the shit out of us is just the thing they need.
I think they're a one-trick pony. I think that they're decent, but and Diego's good if he really is. But it's just like Colin Kaepernick. Year 1, you don't have any tape. Year 2, you get some tape in the SEC. It's not gonna be the same this year. Like I love Diego. Like trust me. Like watching them beat Alabama was my favorite moment of last season. But it's gonna come crashing down to earth pretty quick this year for Vandy.
So we got you
what
had
did I pick? 5 wins, 6 wins.
Ben's got 0 in those last 2. Caleb, you between Vandy and Louisville, who'd you have? 0?
0.
I have a hard time saying we lose to Louisville just because
I don't, because they beat the dog piss out of us last year, like I said they would.
Yeah, but I'm got to go 0 on that one as well. So yeah,
I just feel
I'm piercing my ears, or everybody is.
A Mark Stoops led football team that has 3 wins on November 29th is getting murdered by Louisville.
It's like this year.
When do you think we call Summerall? You think we call him before November 1st?
Y'all are going to be so disappointed when that guy doesn't pan out here. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Whatever. I get the connection, but That's
Do
not.
you
the
think he
hire.
doesn't pan out here, or do you think he doesn't come here?
If he's smart, he won't come here, and if he does, he'll underwhelm. I think. I don't think it's a. I think it just. I can't see it working out. I don't. I
I'll tell
like
you,
him.
the reason that people are excited about him is that I don't think that from our perspective there are many people beating down the door saying it is my mission to fix Kentucky football.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean,
I give you that.
bro is one of one.
Fair enough, but I mean, you have the ability to pay somebody that much money. You should hire the best football coach, not the one that wants the job the most. I feel like you should. There's many better coaches than that to hire, but I think that would be the hire if Stoops to let go.
Dude sounds like someone who didn't want to hire Mark Pope. That sounds like
That's weird because I was the only person on earth that wanted to hire Mark Pope, and I got ridiculed for it for weeks. I was posting Bovada odds every day, and everyone told me how stupid I was. It'll never
How
happen.
embarrassing
No
for
chance. How embarrassing for me to be right? Yeah, all right.
All right, let's spin the wheel, boys.
No.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh my God, me too. Please don't be the get ready with me video. I will. I swear, with God as my witness, I'll quit the podcast.
All right, we're going tiny window for an episode.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
Need an explanation of that one.
You get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I can give one.
If you put me in a tiny window right now, go ahead.
Oh,
I know what you're.
oh.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna just the shape. We're gonna just. There we go. And we got tiny window.
No, I got it in the middle.
Oh, I like that.
Put it on the bartender cat's face.
No, you know what we need is that meme of the girl sitting on the couch.
the Piper or whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, boys, it's been a fun one. This is the highest amount of viewers we've had all episode that are that are watching now.
Oh, we got like 6. What do we got? Right?
We're in the 30s.
Okay, we'll take it. I don't look at chat because everyone's mean to me. Lando hates me. Everybody hates me in the chat. So I don't look at it.
Lando didn't join us.
No peanut
I
butter
don't
posse
think...
either.
Huh?
Yeah.
No
Wow.
peanut butter posse tonight.
Yeah, probably
Hope he's well.
tired of our shit, but that's fine. Miss you guys.
All right, guys. Anything else you wanted to bring up before we wrap this thing up? I have a funny little anecdote. If you guys don't have anything,
Go for it.
Yeah.
My wife and I, our kids are, and we've been over this. Me talking about the kids. They're a bunch of rambunctious little brats. In a phrase. I have a 6-year-old who's very tall. He is autistic. He's tall, but I got a little 3-year-old, and he's short. But that kid caused me a lot of trouble. We'll say that. And he's kind of the brains of our operation, while the older one's the muscle. They no longer have any sort of like doorknob stuff that causes them from leaving their room, so they have sort of free reign. They've been getting up super early, and I guess the short one pulled around the bar stool for the tall one. Now, this is important because me and my wife hide all of the snacks and the stuff that we don't want the boys getting into on top of the fridge. So the short one got the tall one to climb the bar stool and get all the snacks. So there were just Jolly Ranchers and all sorts of candy that were unwrapped and just all over my living room couch this morning.
It's pinky in the brain, man. Slowly, and that's
Sure
exactly what that shit is right there. That's amazing.
That's beautiful.
And you want to be upset, but I was also proud because I'm like, they're brothers.
It's like
Yeah,
when your kid drops the F-bomb,
That's a story for a different day.
It sure is.
Yeah. But before we jump off, I just saw a tweet that, like I said, Malachi Moreno's in the Indiana Kentucky All-Star game tonight. It's at Lexington tonight. They're doing one in Indianapolis tomorrow. JQ, Jalen Lowe, Reese Potter, Denzel Aberdeen, and Trent Noah are all in attendance. So that's kind of cool. And Jasper.
That's cool.
So
Good camaraderie.
Yeah. Nice to see them all out supporting their
Tiny
future
Window's gonna be
teammate.
so good.
I hate it already. I know I'm going to lose. How many? I picked like 6 wins. I shouldn't have done that. That's my bad, y'all.
Shout out Lando, I guess, for sharing that photo.
I'm doing some math here. Jalen Lowe looks not a foot shorter than Potter.
That's true.
Maybe they had a bad measuring tape at the combine.
Maybe Potter's not as tall as he thinks he is, but that's probably. Anyways, I am not tiny anymore. Let's go.
The boy who lived.
All right, fellas. Well, I'll see y'all next week. Beach Jam coming up, so we all get to hang out.
I gotta get my real ID so I can fly. Shit, that's a good.
I send you guys. I'll send you guys it. But Instagram Reels keeps giving me recommendations on fun little brunch spots and coffee spots to go to in Augusta, Georgia. So the boys might be brunching together. Is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah. Are we
Sounds
gonna
good to me.
pregame the high school basketball game?
We're gonna what?
We're gonna pregame this high school basketball game.
I'll say that calling it a high school basketball game is inappropriate. It gives you the wrong idea of the event that you're walking into.
It's worse than a high school basketball game. It's
Also, it would be hilarious
It is.
for us to pregame the first time we get media credentialed somewhere.
if I'm not
All
sloppy with
blasted.
media credentials, what is this all about? You know what I mean? If I don't get kicked out of
It
Beach
is-
Jam, I'm not coming. That's like the whole
It
point.
is so much more than a high school basketball game that doesn't even begin to cover it.
I mean,
It's overwhelming.
It depends. If Fanta's there, I agree. It has elevated. If Fanta's not there,
he'll be
And
there.
They had Fanta was
Probable.
commentating last year.
Yeah.
So I
He
assume
called
he'll
some of
be
the games.
there. Yeah, right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Catican. For Jared, for Braden, for Kale and Ben. Go Cats.
Okay.
Go Cats.